Jersey.
He didn't score on you at all, did he?
No, I don't think so. But
No.
I actually did, absolutely.
I know.
He did.
That was a joke.
He
Everyone scored on me.
And as we start SportsCenter with Jay and Dan, presented by Tim Hortons, bit of breaking news. Dan feeling a bit lightheaded over here. Are you okay? Are you going to make it through the show? I know you're. There's a lot of anticipation for this Game 6 in Winnipeg, Jets and Preds.
I don't know what happened.
Yeah, maybe you need to eat a little bit more. We need to get you a dozen donuts before the show.
Okay, well, let's see if I can. It's a pack-to-pack situation.
Fair enough.
Let's start with that Jets game. Game 6. City of Winnipeg can book its first ever trip to the conference final. Jets legends flying in for the occasion.
Look at this. There you go. Go, Jets, go. Come on.
He refuses to age. The Finnish flash, Teemu Selanne making the trip to Winnipeg. Huge ovation. Minute in, Roman Jossi's point shot, redirected by Victor Arvidsson. It was waved off for a high stick. They reviewed it, said, no, it did go. It's got. Nashville scored first in all 3 games in Winnipeg. It's 1-0. Puck went in the net. Forsberg went in the net. Forsberg 6th. His second in the series. Nashville takes a 2-0 lead. Chris Cuthbert with another legendary call. Philip Forsberg's sensational goal is second of the game. Nashville undefeated in these playoffs after a loss, on their way to forcing a Game 7. I don't know about these historical stats for these series. Like this one, Nashville 1-7 all-time when trailing a series 3-2. You care about that?
Big time.
Pecorino 8-2 following a playoff loss the last 2 seasons.
That's important.
The Preds haven't lost 2 in a row in the playoffs. Here's the goalie comparison. Rene was pulled in both games 1 and in 5. These 2 teams, they've alternated wins and losses in the series. Should there be a Game 7, mark it in your calendar, in your day timer, put it on the fridge. It's Thursday in Nashville.
Reports Monday had executives around the NBA anticipating Dwayne Casey would be fired if the Raptors were swept by the Cavs, setting up a potentially awkward situation where Casey could win Coach of the Year for a team he was no longer employed by. Yes, Toronto facing elimination in the Cleve. Here is head coach Dwayne Casey.
We have one more game. Again, our pride is on the line. Basically our season's on the line.
But early on, George Hill, who is guarding this man? Players not named LeBron James on Cleveland combined for 28 points in the first quarter, and that's just slightly insulting. Behind the back, bounce pass, Kevin Love, 7 first-half assists for LeBron, and then the spin move on Pascal Siakam. Cavs ended the half on a 12-0 run. They were up 16 at the break. Still, fans back at Maple Leaf Square, they've got faith, or they're just bored. Third quarter, LeBron, beautiful. Then late third, Cavs up by 25. This from the King. LeBron finished with 29, and he actually checked out with under 8 minutes left. Now, DeMar DeRozan was benched in the fourth quarter of Game 3. A lot of talk about that. Late third quarter on Monday, Jordan Clarkson, the steal on Fred VanVleet. Here goes Clarkson. DeRozan, hard foul. They review it. They rule it a flagrant 2, automatic ejection. Just a horrible way for DeRozan's season to end. The Raptors swept by Cleveland for the second straight year as Toronto loses by 35 points in Game 4. That 35-point loss, the worst margin of defeat in an elimination game of a #1 seed against a lower seed in the history of the National Basketball Association. LeBron has now swept an opponent in 6 straight postseasons. And the Cavs have never lost a Game 4 with a chance to sweep a series. I'll say the Raptors have now lost 10 straight playoff games against the Cavs, and the stats aren't pretty. Cleveland scored at least 100 points in all 10 of those games, recording at least 10 three-pointers in 9 of those games.
What a guy. Alex Ovechkin. Let's start that over. Alex Ovechkin, 13 seasons, 10 playoff appearances, yet Ovi has never had a sniff of the conference final. Not once. And to make it worse, Sidney Crosby and the Pens keep booting the Cavs out of the postseason. But Monday night, Washington, a win away from slaying the Dragon, puncturing the Piñata, punting the Penguins. Advise you, please do not punt Penguins. They're too cute. The Penguins finding ways to stay loose. He's on the ice in the second. Caps on the attack. Nathan Walker feeds Alex Chason. He beats Matt Murray. Walker, the Aussie, making his playoff debut with Nick Backstrom injured. 1-0 Caps. Ovechkin, he's 0-3 in series against the Pens during the Crosby-Ovechkin era. Ovi slashed on the hand by Chris Letang. No penalty. He stayed in the game. 9 minutes later, Crosby wins a draw. Letang's point shot deflects off Chandler Stevens' stick. It's it. Letang's third of the playoffs. Ties this one at 1. Under 3 minutes to play in the third. Crosby. A redirect. Braden Holtby stops it. Rebound. Stays out. They need overtime in Game 6. Early in OT. Kunaka. Quick shot. Postage. Fans watching outside the rink. Thought they had a winner. 2 minutes later. Kuznetsov on the back check, knocks the puck away from Crosby, takes the feed from Ovechkin. Game and series winner. The Caps are moving on. So the back-to-back Stanley Cup winners, they're out. And the Caps move on for the first time since '98. So they're matched up against a Lightning team that's been in the East Final 3 of the last 4 years. There are 3 meetings this year. Tampa won twice. Should be noted that Braden Holtby only played in 1 of those 3 games. The Lightning won that game that he used between the pipes.
Back to the NBA, we have been told to trust the process when it comes to the Philadelphia 76ers, but the Sixers, like the Raptors, were on the brink of elimination Monday night, and with their backs against the wall, they turned to the only man who could save them. TJ McConnell? McConnell got the surprise start in the backcourt with Ben Simmons as Philly tries to avoid being swept by Boston. Terry Rozier called for the offensive foul, and Joel Embiid tries to take the ball from him, and the two go at it. Rozier gives him a shot to the chest. Embiid, funny guy. Late in the half, Embiid sets the screen, throws down the two-hander. Philly was up 4 at the half. Third quarter, Marcus Morris defended beautifully by Embiid and staring down Morris. Philly going the other way. Robert Covington can't connect. After another miss, guess who's there to clean it all up? Joel. And after Boston calls time, Morris and Embiid continue to chirp Morris, reminding Embiid where the series is at. Then during the commercial break, Embiid saying to Morris, "We're in your head. All right, we're in your head." Late 4. Philly up 8. TJ McConnell. He had a career-high 19. Philly avoids elimination. Still to come, Jamie McLennan will be here to discuss all things Jets and Preds after the break. You're watching SportsCenter with Jay and Dan, presented by Tim Hortons on TSN.
To Discount Sports Apparel Warehouse Raptors blowout sale. We're stripping our mannequins and emptying our shelves of Toronto Raptors playoff gear because Nation hats, 100% off. We're waving hoodies saying Toronto Raptors 2018 NBA finalists. LeBron fears the North bumper stickers, 2 for the price of 1. All things Jurassic Park are drastically marked down. Norman Powell towels, we're throwing them in. Everything DeRozan needs to go roasted. We thought the bench would at least get us 1 game. The Cavs seem weak. Discount Sports Apparel Warehouse Raptors blowout sale. We're probably going to have the same sale next year.
Why don't you pull up a chair with us? It's the Coors Side Seats with TSN hockey analyst Jamie McLennan. And there will be a Game 7, Preds and Jets. The Preds almost a carbon copy of Game 4 in Winnipeg. They just make it boring and stifle the Jets.
That's what they did, but right from the drop of the puck, the Nashville Predators were the better team. And the Winnipeg Jets, they looked afraid to lose this game. You're on home ice. You want to start with some jam, and it starts... You're a minute into the game. Now, Arvidsson, the call on the ice, they thought it was high sticking. It wasn't. He's just a short guy, and it ends up underneath the crossbar. It's unfortunate for Winnipeg because you want to have that big jump, but Nashville was quicker. They executed, and they got underneath the skin of the Winnipeg Jets. So they were the better team tonight. They deserved the win, and that's scary for the Jets fans because a Game 7 in Nashville.
Yep.
They've been there. They've done that before. Where the Jets, you've got some young players, so they're going to have to elevate their game and win a big one.
Okay, I have one last question for you. The
Yes.
Met Gala. I don't know if you've heard of this. It's a big ball that happens at the Metropolitan Museum of Art, and everyone's there in New York. And Tom Brady was there. I just want to have you take a look at the shot. Did you ever have a teammate? First of all, Nick Jonas, I think, is 4 feet tall. Have you ever had a teammate dress this poorly? What is happening to Tom Brady? What's going on with this man?
Tom Brady can do whatever he wants. You know why? He's Tom Brady.
But his wife is dressing him like an idiot.
Well, what is he, 6'4", 6'5"?
But you must have had a teammate where they walk in, you're like, what are you doing?
Darius Kasparaitis
Yes,
once.
Kasparaitis.
But the thing is Casper came from humble beginnings, and it didn't matter what he was wearing, as long as it was Armani or Gucci. He would wear it. So that's Tom Brady. That's probably Armani or Gucci. So
yeah, that
Kasparaitis would wear that.
Right.
That jacket's probably $5,000.
Yeah,
You're right.
for sure, easily.
Noodles, thank you very much for this.
No worries.
Coming up, and by the way, Jamie's sticking around and hanging out later in the show. We're going to talk more about the Jets. We're going to talk about the Caps and Pens too. But first, we're going to talk about Canada against Denmark at the World Hockey Championship. World Hockey Championship Group B, Canada against the host nation Denmark. Canada third in Group B. Trying to keep pace with Finland and the United States of America. That is Connor McDavid. Setting up Aaron Ekblad. McDavid drawing a pair of Danish defenders. Ekblad and the Nuge for the second of the game, third of the tourney. Canada wins 7-1. Here's Ryan O'Reilly on McDavid. Oh no, sorry, we're not gonna hear about that. Sorry, we're not gonna hear about that. You know why? Because I want to tell you about this instead. Canada taking on Norway Thursday at 2 Eastern, and I should also mention that Norway only has 2 players, Matt Zuccarello and Espen Knudsen. So it's going to be an easy one for the Canadians. You'll want to see it.
But there's other players aside from them.
No, just Zuccarello and Knudsen. That's it.
It's the Jannies. Good, bad, whatever. First round of the Madrid Open. Novak Djokovic should have an easy overhand smash. Oh, into the net. He won the match in straight sets. Didn't matter.
Back to the World Hockey Championships, USA, Germany. German goalie Nicholas Treutler robs Cam Atkinson with the paddle. Very Freddie Anderson-like.
Marcus Morris had a very simple, non-verbal message for Joel Embiid, who was telling him the Sixers are in the Celtics' head. He said 3-0. The series is 3-1 now, but at the time it was 3-0.
Wonder which finger he'd use for the one. Vladdy Guerrero Jr. hit one off a tee. And then, when the game started, a lighter to the Sam Adams Brewhouse. A lighter.
Then
another one.
That's
this one off the hotel.
Wow. World Under 15 Championship. Tournament clinching goal for the East Coast against Russia. Carlos Santana, 2 on in the 5th. Sends one deep to center. Gorgis Hernandez. He's going back to the wall. He's got it. No, he doesn't. In and out skis. That's a 3-run homer.
And this pretty much sealed the deal for the cleave over the Raps. From behind the backboard, LeBron James simply could not be stopped. And another disappointing end to a season for Toronto.
I was taking a long time to write this Plays of the Week intro, and I ended up writing something about the Raptors, to which producer Tim told me Jay wrote the exact same thing for his top 10 intro. So yeah, great minds think alike.
Banana bread. Tough night to be a Raptor fan.
LeBron, that was an old school lady he was in there.
Yeah, Seagram's? Mm-hmm. That's probably the secret to his success this whole time. I'm drinking Seagram's after every game.
You know what ours is? If you've ever seen Natasha Stanishevsky's McCain Wedges ad, you need to tune in to the Jay and Dan podcast. We just taped it because she goes into detail about the taping of that commercial. You can find it on iHeartRadio. Thank you to our sponsor, Coors Light.
Winds of change.
Philip Forsberg. We watched it. We were in awe. We said, that's the highlight of the night. Cut it, stamp it, print it.
And we made some mistakes, too. It's our popular You Blew It segment. Again, Andrew Zwarich typing everything up. Really impressive. Dan, you had a hard time saying Alex Ovechkin.
Yeah.
I believe called Jamie McLennan Jeff at one point.
You did?
You said Mark Sanchez is not in the league because of pink eye. He's actually not in the league because of a 4-game suspension for violating the drug policy. He blames supplement contamination. That sounds like a fancy word for pink eye. And we have a not top 10, but not a bottom top 10. Should be bottom 10.
I don't care. What a show.